than dropping any games in between. You're doing a very good job.
Yeah, doing a very good job indeed. And well, as you said, I think it will be a very close league, and two teams that I think could be pretty close in it as well are Quality Control and JorJaJo. And well, we've got that match underway now. Game number one, our second series of the night. JorJaJo, Quality Control, who take the top spot.
So you're asking who would take the top spot. Who do you think is going to take this one, Boyer?
You know, I think I've got to go by results and give it to Quality Control. The number one in the EURS. I've took down JorJaJo before, 3-2 it may have been, but they still got the win. And Quality Control, they look like an excellent team over time. Maybe JorJaJo will come in and surprise me though, but I think I'm going to give it to Quality Control. Maybe a 3-1 win.
No, I can get behind that. Even though I do think Jack's really stepped it up, especially on different teams with Stormtroopers. He of course took the nice Cactus, which was with Polar and Dead Monster. Thank you very much. I was blanking on that one for a second, but gave some very good results. Obviously, two different teammates now, but definitely not less capable ones. As we see Joyo and I think it was Hakeem right there. A bit of a rule one, so a quick 2v2 going on right now.
Quite a bit of 2v2, feeling like a Universal Open right now, but Archie taking it to the back. We're going to try and follow up as it drops down. He cannot find the touch, and Jonas trying to clear it away, but Hib's a bit too fast for him, taking it round once more. JorJaJo getting left back on defense a lot. Archie trying to come in for a shot, but Jonas can't beat him out. Jack going to rush upfield, and as you mentioned about Jack playing on that Stormtrooper side, one of the things we saw on Wednesday was how good the offense of Stormtroopers was at Polar, Dead Monster, and apparently Jack's side. But the defense being a major issue, will that maybe translate around to this team with Jack being on it, or maybe that issue will not be around? Of course, these players all going to be practicing relentlessly for the spring series, which will, the qualifiers will be starting Tuesday and continuing Wednesday.
Oh, Jack!
One of those top contenders for the spring series, gets the opening goal of the game.
You know, I think, oh, that's just beautiful by Jack, but the players, I think worth mentioning on JorJaJo, both Jorias and Jack really grind a lot of ones. So put them in this 2v2 scenario and they were always going to take this one. And Joyo is basically came as a clip hitter into this team. He didn't really play competitive that much. He really liked to do all the freestyle stuff, but thanks to that, his mechanics are absolutely crazy. Compare that with two ones players and you get a good combo. Right here, that combo just got a goal against them.
Yeah, really should not have been slipping in. Jack pushed him a bit too far there, and Joyo couldn't find his touch either. That's easily tapped in by Hibs and tying up the game. A careless mistake from JorJaJo, letting that one slip by. Half the game gone though, one apiece. And I mentioned something about the defense from JorJaJo's side. Could it be an issue we need to watch out for? And I think that's a bit showing there for it, pushing it a bit too far when there's no need to. Needs to be better defense than that. I mean, no, they can do better, but simple mistakes are not going to pass in this league.
No, they definitely won't. The only thing that I'm quite surprised about is how slow this first game has been, but Jory is trying to make a bit of a difference there. But the game really doesn't be played that quick. Normally these teams I really expect to go flying at every ball, but the plays are really ones plays basically, where people are trying to dribble it out of defense, get those flip resets, get the dribbles in, just get it past one opposition. And right now I'd like them to really switch up the pace, because both of these teams are so capable of it, and try and catch the other one of God that way.
Archer trying to take it upfield, gets a demo on Jack, and a small touch back, laying it off to a teammate, and Archer's up to the backboard it goes. Oh. Joyo barely getting that save to the corner, almost own goal, and it's somehow keeping out of his own net. And well, I think a bit closer than it really had to be, but he is able to find the save and keep it a tie game for now.
That was an interesting jump right there from Jack, trying to get the read, but that's what I was talking about. It's a slow game. It's not played on pace right now. It's played on individual skill and individual mechanics, and that's how I expect the next goal to happen as well. But Jory is onto the backboard with a pass demo as well, but Joyo gets beaten by RG. That was very clutch.
Nakeem trying to take it away, trying to take it high, get demoed by Joyo in the process though. They've all cleared up field. Jack dropping it down, but George cannot find a touch on it. They fall back to Joyo, last man in defense. A soft touch out to the side. Hibbs is able to get a touch on that himself, trying to bring it around, but it does get cleared away, give JorJaJo a bit of time to push up field, get an attack going themselves, but they're not taking advantage of it. Instead, out to the side to Archins. His shot going to the backboard, Akeem the last man back. Gets beat out by Joyo in the 50. A good bit of a chance here for JorJaJo, but they're not able to follow up in time. A lack of good positioning there. Getting that easily cleared away from quality control. That's not a good touch. It could be dangerous, but they are able to deal with it, and it looks like we'll be going to overtime game number 1.
We were saying how we expected this series to be very close, and game 1 just restating that opinion, because going to overtime just shows us only 1 goal apiece aside and not that many chances either. So it's up to the players really to make the difference now in this such close series.
Yeah, our first overtime of the series, and not surprising to see, but Archie gonna take it for quality control 20 seconds in, can just tap that into the net. And a 2-1 win for quality control game number 1. A nice touch from Archie there. A bit slow in the defense from JorJaJo.
Yeah, Jorius didn't really attack that ball like I thought he would. It's a bit slow, and Archie got to that ball first. And a great first game right here, taking the win for quality control. Now, I do feel like it was deserved, but I don't think either team have shown anywhere near the level that they can play at.
Definitely do think it was deserved, and it was a good first game from both sides, but it definitely can be better. We did see some great goals scored, of course, and Jack, it was a lovely dribble that he got to find that goal for JorJaJo. Not able to do too much afterwards, you know, a pretty slow game after the fact, but JorJaJo did get the lead, and it started off decently. Its quality control took advantage of the mistakes that were being made.
So we quickly got some technical difficulties with one of the players, so they're going to take the full minute to get back into this. But it gives us a bit more time to go into the teams as well, because the interesting thing is quality control is very new. JorJaJo was in the Superstar League last season as well, but then playing with Ania instead of Joyo. So that's a new addition to the team, and I don't feel like the chemistry is as good as it looked sometimes last season, but they've really made it work and they've gotten the results. But quality control, on the other hand, I think the biggest thing that they did this season is actually taking down Sandrock Gaming, which nobody expected.
Yeah, nobody expected that at all. And Sandrock Gaming, unfortunately, having to reschedule one too many matches and got the DQ from the lead. Possibly could have seen them here, but either way, we did get to see some great teams overall. And speaking of great team, we have some great players here. It's Jonas, the prodigy right now. Let's get the early goal for JorJaJo.
Oh, Hakeem just got one touch too little. I feel like he almost got it in the end there. It looked like a bit of a glitchy hit right there, but he didn't touch it enough. Jorius getting that first goal and a great start right here in game 2. JorJaJo exactly what they needed.
Yeah, a good start, and they had the new start last time around, that early lead, but they were not able to retain it. Can they do it this time around? They're well quality control, be able to fight back. It's early time in this game, there's only 30 seconds, half fell off the clock. Plenty of time for quality control to bring stuff back. JorJaJo need to be a bit more careful in defense and try and send in that lead. Is Jack going to take it to the back? But that's exactly what they're looking to do. A drop down from Joyo's going to finish it all. And it's 2-0 now to JorJaJo.
That's a great little play. Once again, Hakeem just pushed into a difficult situation. 2 up for the shot. Both Jorius and Joyo wanting to take it. But Joyo first to that ball, dropping it down into the back of the net. And when they were really not finding it and really not finding those attacks in the last game, certainly JorJaJo really starting off this game well.
As the ball goes hijack, going to try and clear it out to the side. A 2-0 lead for JorJaJo is a good start. But we've seen how easily they can be taken advantage of in the defense, so they need to be careful in that respect. They do have a 2-goal lead though, a lot better than last time. Have a bit more leeway to make mistakes, but pushing up too far is going to be a big issue. Very offensive players on this team. Jack, Joyo and Jonas, all excellent shooters. The defense sometimes struggling a bit. Jorah's obviously a great one player. Goes for many solo plays. Jack is a great striker in general. Always upfield taking shots. And Joyo, well, we've seen what he can do in the air. And we can see what he can do in terms of passing. And an excellent pass to Jack. Finished off, and it's a 3-0 lead to JorJaJo.
Beautiful team play. That pass from Jack to Joyo was already gorgeous. But from Joyo to push it back to Jack, I think nobody expected that. Definitely not the defense from quality control, and they right now are completely unable to control this game.
Getting launched upfield, Joyo gets a touch, trying to continue that pressure. More and more goals forward for JorJaJo, the more and more mistakes they can afford to make. But a 3-goal lead, great standing to be in now, but it is still early days of this game. Only 1 minute and 40 seconds into this. There's still plenty of time for quality control to bring it back, but JorJaJo have not made it easy to start off with a launch upfield and shut down any kind of attack right now. Jack out to the side, Archie's there, putting the pressure on out to the midfield. Akeem with a shot, a touch from Archie, put a touch from Jorah, but it does slip by, and it's now 3-1.
And these are the sort of saves that would make you a hero, but somehow Jorah just kind of lands on the ball and gets booted away by the ball itself rather than the other way around. That's a bit unlucky on his side, and quality control getting one back means they're still in this game, but getting two against a team like JorJaJo is a task in itself, and only time will tell if they're up to it.
Only time will tell indeed. Already way more goals scored than last time around, obviously last game being 2-1, already at 3-1, and we're only halfway through, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a few more goals as George launches it up to Joyo. He's going to try and drop it down into the corner. He goes spinning away. It does drop down. Hibs can take it out to the side. A bit of time to take as Archie waiting in the midfield. The pass not able to be found. George has some time to take it high. Beats out George. Has the flat reset, but it's off the back wall and out. And oh, so close. It could have been a 4 for JorJaJo, but some style points getting put to Jorah's anyway.
Oh, that is why we call him a prodigy. That's why teams are looking at him, players are looking at him, and everyone's basically looking at him because of those plays. The consistency at which he does it is insane. You'd expect these type of plays to happen. I mean, I would hit them once in my lifetime, probably not even, but he does them consistently every single game. Absolutely crazy and beautiful play.
Some crazy play indeed, and they're still holding on to this 2-goal lead. 1 minute 30 seconds left in the clock. Archie trying to bring it around the front of net. No teammate found, but the pressure will continue. Hibs low on boost though, gonna have to back off. The team also pretty low on boost as well, only 30 in the tank, and not much they can find at the moment, being starved on the attack, and gives JorJaJo needs a chance to break out a launch upfield though, no follow up, and a quick turnaround from quality control. They are getting back on the attack pretty quickly, just doing nothing with it. That's a good bump though, rolling in, and Jack makes it entire. A good recovery, Archie. A good eye on him there, good idea, just not executed to its highest point.
But the way that JorJaJo really just killed this game, after the goal from quality control, they made sure to take everything slow. Every single ball that they hit, they get a 50 afterwards, or they're at least able to follow it up. Also some great demos coming in, giving right now Joyo the open net to secure the win in this game too. They've really done well after they got the initial lead.
They really done well indeed, and I was fearful that they could throw away that lead once again, but they've done the exact opposite. It's extended it more and more. 4-1 to JorJaJo, and looking like this game will definitely go into them with 50 seconds left in the clock. Don't think quality control have really much hope at all at bringing this back, but they will try their best to do so. But I think we'll be seeing a tied up series.
Yeah, hopefully so as well, because tied up series means more games, means more fun for us as the casters, Boyo. Especially between those teams where every single player is capable of pulling off the unimaginable, the impossible. Just makes for so much fun.
So much fun and such good games, such good players as well. I'm excited to be seeing these guys develop in the future. Of course, we will be able to see them on Wednesdays. Well, and Tuesday as well if you are watching the qualifiers through player stream. But over on Wednesday, we will be streaming the the Spring Series qualifiers, if I could speak, over on this very channel, and it'll be a good one. But Serious. All tied up. A good game for JorJaJo. We've seen some great goals there. Joyo especially. What a shift. 100% goal participation, some great goals. Great shot down from the backboard. And, well, it was an excellent goal, excellent show of mechanics. And we've seen some other ones as well. Some great team play all around, like his pass over to Jack. And a lovely finish from Jack to go with it. A great performance from Joyo.
Yeah, definitely a great game for him. But the problem that I have right now is the fact that this just happens, but it's against quality control. So scratch everything you know, just completely wipe your little whiteboard and start all over, because next game, if they show up, they can completely turn this around.
Yeah, for sure. And going into game number 3, I would not be surprised to see it go the complete opposite direction. Quality control just completely destroy it. No worry about it. But it could also kind of continue with JorJaJo, and maybe they stay with their good bit of threatening gameplay here. We're going to have to wait and see, as we're just waiting for players to get back in. A few more issues, and we will get back underway shortly. But it's 1-1 in the series, and last time we saw this matchup, it went 3-2 to quality control. Looking like it could go that way again.
It could, but it's obviously a bit too early to tell. It's still at least 2 more games coming in. But the thing with quality control, what we talked about earlier as well, is it just seems like every single series they play, you're telling yourself, okay, this time they will not get away with this. This time they'll get punished for their lax gameplay during some of the games, and the opposition will take it. And then suddenly game 5 comes around, and just with the most ease, they suddenly pull out the series. And that is what I'm afraid of right now for JorJaJo, where you take the next game, then you lose a really close one, and then game 5, suddenly quality controls online, and you just get completely demolished.
Yeah, it is one thing to definitely look out for. Quality control do have some magical clutch factor that even if they're down in the series, they always seem to come back and end up taking it 3-2 or a scoreline close to that. Just looking through in the Europa League Blue, they had 1, 2, 3, 4 games go the distance to game number 4. Only one sweep, which was against Joessi, who placed 5th in that league, and again going 3-1 against Cubicles, who placed 7th. So otherwise, they really did like their game at number 5s, and they did a good job at coming back from them. But you cannot always let it happen. It is a bit dangerous.
But that's the weird thing. Like, the one team was 7th, one team was last, and they seem to let this happen against the weaker teams, and that's exactly what we're illustrating. They get too complacent, and they just allow the opposition to walk away with a few games. And at this type of level, that will get punished eventually. But then again, I've been saying this for months, and it hasn't happened. So I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something right.
Definitely doing something right, and it seemed to work for them. Might not work that game, but they've still got a whole series to go through. And I don't want to call things yet, but I do think this could be a good turnaround for quality control this game. They've got a bit of a break here as players get things sorted. I think they're missing 3 at the moment, so it should not be too along the way. I think people might just have a few connection issues here again, and maybe having to restart PCs. Should not be too long, but either way, both teams are looking very, very good, and I'm excited to see more.
And I think, to me, JorJaJo is also playing somewhat unexpected, because what we've seen most of the time from them in league play is that all the solo plays, right? And we saw that in the first game as well, with the air dribble coming in from Jack during the 2v2 play. He got that beautiful air dribble past everyone. But that wasn't the entire series, because then suddenly they really started playing as a team. In that last game that we saw, the game 2, there were plenty of team plays coming out, and absolutely beautiful ones at that as well, from JorJaJo. And it's not the way that they normally play, but it worked really well for them.
Yeah, some great team plays all around. And talking about players like Joyo, who, as mentioned, 100% goal participation that last game. Excellent player all around, and well, he really, as I said, shined on offense. Got some good shots on target, got some good passes to his teammates, and well, he just smashed it overall.
But Unfortunately, our players are back because live Rocket League is best Rocket League, and Hip starting it off also beautifully. That break done him well.
Done him well indeed. What a star off the backboard, dropping it down. Oh, a beautiful shot for quality control. Hibs. This score out every single time. I'd love watching it again and again and again. Quality control taking an early lead though. 1-0 up, and wow, what a start.
The only issue that I have with this is the fact that I feel like this entire series just gets replayed after the series, because it's just so full of highlights. All these players so good, but Hips, I don't think showed up that much last game, but this game in the first 30 seconds scoring that's beautiful. Archie almost getting another great one for himself there.
As the ball comes round, out to the corner, Jodas. And I take it high. Akeem going to put the pressure on, trying to drop it down. Joyo's there in the backboard. The pressure does remain though. It's out to the side. Jack trying to clear it away. Hibs backs off, and Joyo going to push it up here a little bit more. Hakeem taking it high once again out to the side. Joyo's going to try and continue the pressure up for Jack. A shot to the crossbar, bouncing away. Joyo going to try and finish it off, but a save from Hibs. And it was Jodas trying to continue the pressure. Another drop down, but clear away from Hakeem. JorJaJo getting close to a goal, but so many good saves from quality control, just keeping it out. A pass out from Joyo, not connecting.
Yeah.
Oh, JorJaJo.
That, poor Jack. First off, he misses, and then the pass right there, he probably should have opted to rotate all the way back, and Archie gets in between a pass and just boots it in from his own half. But that should have been 1-1 on the scoreboard, Boyo. Not too ill.
Yeah, definitely should be on a piece, but quality control took advantage of the situation. Were able to score a second, give themselves a bit more of a lead, secure it a bit further. And JorJaJo have a good bit of fighting to do now. Is out of quality control of a lead. They're definitely not going to let go slip by as easily as well. They don't have a need to push up, they don't have a need to put more pressure on. They can sit back and relax and make the save needed. And JorJaJo, they're going to have to do a lot better of an attack if they want to find some stuff.
And this is not how you do it, because Archie once again will punish you for being all the way out of defense. I like the idea, you need to push up, you need to get a goal, but being all three so far upfield, that's just waiting for this to happen. Still a great little angle by Archie, but JorJaJo, that little break did not do them well, Boyo.
They're not doing well indeed, coming off of that 4-1 win. They're now 3-0 down in the first 2 minutes, and well, not a pretty start. And I do think it definitely has something to do with them playing against quality control as well. They always seem to do it. They always just come back from a loss and take it back once more. They never seem to lose a series, and even if they look like they could do.
Oh, what?
I couldn't continue speaking. What was that, Archie?
What? How? Alright, okay. So the ball goal goes in eventually, but what was that, Archie? How did that not go in? That should have gone post and in, but somehow it didn't. And great recovery right there.
And I couldn't continue what my point was there. That was I can't remember what I was trying to say. That was some save by Archie. Don't know how it didn't went in. It was a millimetre to the goal. But JorJaJo, they do score off of it eventually. Put it a bit closer to the game. Only 2 goals in it now. Trying to fight back. For us, did he get the pass 1 over at Jack? He pushes in. After Archie out to the side to Hibs, to the corner it goes. A follow-up touch, and Jodas can turn on it. But clear out to the side, gives a bit of time to quality control, recuperate, get in position for an attack, and make sure it's shut down. JorJaJo in the way. But they pushed up now and trying to find that second goal, make it a little bit closer.
And I hope to see this one grow closer, because even though it's 3-1 for quality control, that really included basically 2 free goals and a missed one for JorJaJo themselves. So I feel like this game should be closer than it is right now, and JorJaJo know it. They'll be fighting for this one, because going down 2-1 in this fashion really isn't what you want.
Not what you want indeed. It's a good shot from Hibs, but George is able to find the save. A demo on George, so he's in an awkward position. Jack able to get the clear deal for pretty well. As Archie backs off, leaves it for Akeem to push upfield. He can't find the second touch, but JorJaJo reacting to it pretty well, keeping it in the midfield, but they need to push out a little bit further, getting attack going. They're still 2 goals down, and quality control not letting anything really slip by at the moment. Only took a impossibly close save to really give JorJaJo that goal. And another insanely close save. Quality control still keep the lead with 1 minute remaining. They could be seeing JorJaJo go 2-1 down in the series.
Oh man, Archie really the backbone right now for quality control. The saves that he's getting are absolutely crazy. It's like, you know, in Skyrim when you're about to do something that you probably shouldn't and you save. Like, Archie's the type of person that never forgets to save because he does it time and time again.
And time again, it always seems to work as the ball drops down. Jonas can clear it away, and Akeem, a slight touch out to the side and a follow-up from Jonas to the backboard. Looking like it must be time now for JorJaJo. 20 seconds left to score 2 goals. I do not see it happening. And with the ball approaching their net, there's just not enough time. Gonna most likely drop game number 3, go 2-1 down the series and face match point. And again, quality control, that's not a situation you want to be in.
Definitely isn't, but the quality really shining through. Control a bit less so because it was very close, but the goals that quality control got in this game were absolutely gorgeous, especially that Archie double touch off the back wall. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous indeed. And well, some shot that was it was a great shot as well. But JorJaJo, they had some good shots to their own, and we've seen that excellent save from Archie, but a great shot from Jonas and Joy to follow that up. A lovely pinch to just secure that goal and give JorJaJo a little bit closer to the game. It just wasn't enough in the end, and they do drop 2-1 now against the quality control sides. And well, going to be a tough one. Match point against them, and it's quality control. Not lost a single series yet coming to the Superstar League. They won every series in the playoffs, won every series in their league, beating JorJaJo on the way. Could this be their first loss, or will they just secure it out now?
You've seen right here in this series already how their season was. They're very much a team that's either very online or very offline. And first 2 games actually, they didn't really seem to be that online, but that last one, they really played their hearts out and the individual skills really shining through for them. It's both Hips and Archie grabbing a lot of nice goals, but the chances were there for JorJaJo. They seem to have the pressure too, but somehow they just left 2 open nets open, and quality control took the fullest of advantages and is up that match point.
Yeah, match point for them, but in quality control spin, I wouldn't be surprised to see it go 3-2. But they were going to say otherwise. It's Hibs. Another early goal for quality control. They do take the lead. A good pass upfield by Akeem, and Hibs is beating out Jordas there, getting a demo to top it all off. Quality control take a 1-0 lead.
That was a great play by Hibbs as well. He didn't flick it as quickly as he could. He baited in Jorias for the fake challenge. He took that bait and then just flicked it past him, got the demo in the process just to be that 100% sure that the opponent isn't going to save it. Great little play once again by Hips, really stepping up in this last few games. But right now, Jorias with the opportunity to change it around, but Hips having none of it. Playing really, really well.
And the ball goes high. King to try and drop it centre. Find another goal for quality control, but Jack can tap it high over to Jordan as it goes off the side wall. He's not able to follow up, but the pressure still comes out from quality control as the ball lands to the backboard, and a double commit there from JorJaJo gives time for quality control to push in and leaves that JorJaJo a difficult position. Is low on boost and stuck in the defence. They need to try and break out sooner or find some boost as Jack comes in. A little bit of boost to his name, putting some pressure on. Quality control can continue the pressure, but finally breaking out is Jack, who's up trying to find a dunk on Hibbs. But it just slips by in quality control. Quick counter, a lovely touch to the backboard. Hakeem dropping it down, and 2-0 to quality control.
That was a 1-2-1-2-1. Absolutely beautiful between Archie and Akeem, and I was about to say how I was really scared for JorJaJo because they seem like the type of team to really push up all their members of the team to get that goal back. And right there, that's cost them. And it's even more, but Jack and Joyo clutch together, living to fight another day.
And these teams is what give us a heart attack with some of the saves they're making, but it still remains 2 to quality control after a very close shot indeed. But JorJaJo, they still keep it in reaching distance, only 2 goals down, half the game left to go. It's something they can come back from, but it's going to be tough. They weren't able to do it, and they were 3-1 down, but a bit closer this time. Maybe they can bring it back, but it's going to be tough with quality control. They're trying every chance they get to extend upon this lead. So JorJaJo bringing it around the front of net. Joyo is up, a soft touch down. They try and follow up, but intercepted, cleared out to the side in time for quality control to clear away.
Half of the game gone. It's going to take something special. Jorius is exactly that. Beautiful to get 1 goal back here.
A little bit closer. The lead gets cut in half as Jonas by himself can just finish that off, and 2-1 now to quality control. JorJaJo looking for the comeback, looking to tie this up, looking to go to game number 5. They do not want to lose here. They put in a good fight game 1 and 2. Game 3, a little bit of a slip away. In game 4, they're coming back with that same fight we've seen in the earlier games.
Oh my, this is so much closer than I expected just a few seconds ago. I was expecting JorJaJo to once again really push up too far and get punished for it. Alright, now they seem to be handling decently, but a lot of clutch saves needed. But now the counter-attack might open up some plays. Jack now takes it really slow, but does keep some control of the ball. But that's a great little clear right there, all the way back to the other end. Ping pong game right now going on, Boyer.
And some very close saves from JorJaJo. Not necessarily a good thing, but it's good enough at the moment that they are not letting anything fly by. But with how close some of these saves have had to be, it shows that the defense still a bit shaky at the moment, pushing it a bit too far, leaving people in awkward position. But they're still making the saves for now, and they are only 1 goal down. With 1 minute left on the clock, they're going to have to find the goal pretty soon. They have to take it upfield, trying to extend upon that lead. It lands to Jonas, dropping it down, intercepted back over to Hibson. Quality control with possession, holding it in the JorJaJo half. They can just hold it here for long enough. Quality control will take it, but Jonas able to slap out. A touch to himself to the backboard, dropping it down. Jack is there, can't make it in time and cleared away. Back to Joy it goes, and a launch upfield once more. Jonas having a touch that lies to the corner, a bad recovery and a launch upfield. Hibs had a chance to drop it down to net, and that will be 1. 3-1 to quality control, and they've done it. They've took a 2-goal lead with 39 seconds left. I don't know how JorJaJo can come back now.
That angle right there, boy, and this is exactly what we're talking about. JorJaJo wanting that goal, pushing upfield, and on the counter, that's a great little redirect right there from Hibs. And I thought JorJaJo had it. I thought they were gonna bring it back. They were gonna get the series all tied up, but right now with only 20 seconds to go, that doesn't really seem that likely anymore. And it feels like quality control have found their first win in the Superstar Series right here.
Looks like it indeed, and with a 3-1 victory over JorJaJo as the clock dies down, it will be declared in just a moment. Quality control, an excellent start to the league, getting that first victory under their belts, and against a pretty strong team at that. JorJaJo put a good effort into winning that one, but it just was not enough at the end. Quality control, take the series 3-1, and have a great start to their season.
A great start, to say the least, because like you said, a lot of strong teams in this tournament, and you need to win every single game that you can. And if you're facing a team that you have faced before, that you have beat before, then you got to be confident that you can do it. And quality control did exactly that. Even though it was 1-1, the long break actually that we had really seemed to help out quality control. But the course that they got their last game, especially that team play between Hakeem and Archie, was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, so many great goals as we mentioned. A great flick from Hibs in the demo, getting it over and finding that early goal. Hibs as well, another good angle and some excellent shots coming his way. Overall, some really, really good goals we saw this series and that first series as well. Teams have really stepped it up and are really showing what they are made of today. And well, some really good matches all around, really promising results for every single team. Even Zulu and even JorJaJo, they look like some really, really strong opponents for Total Shad and Quality Control respectively. And I think really every single team in this group, and I expect the same for Group B, should be worried because I can see really anyone getting an upset win over anyone right now. It seems so, so close.
Definitely. I was looking at the teams trying to make a prediction who I thought was going to go through, and I just quit it halfway through because it's impossible. All the teams so close to each other, every single one deserving to be here and showing us today exactly why that is. Unfortunately, we only got to see 2 games. I would have loved to see WMD face off against Super Mode. Unfortunately, that match has been postponed, but it will mean we have a more fun Rocket League another time. And speaking of other times, you've mentioned it before, Boyo. This Wednesday, we will not have a nice cactus, but instead we have the broadcast for the spring series, which is going to be this level, if not way better. And it's going to be super exciting, super fun. And you do not want to miss that. And then Thursday, we're back with the Superstar League. So you don't want to go anywhere. You want to be here, right with the Rocket Derby, middle of the action. I'll see you then.